5-star performance from Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer Masterclass. Hat-trick from Marcus Rashford. MBE MVP. Listen, RB Leipzig, Nagelsmann, Upamecano. Your boys have taken one hell of a beating. Listen, I'm joined here by Tom and Shane. Manchester United have absolutely annihilated RB Leipzig. A result, a performance, a match that not many expected. I mean, we may have expected a win.
No one expected.
We may
No.
So we may have expected a win. We may have expected a goal from this person, that person, but nobody was going to say 5-0. Not even the most optimistic Manchester United fan would have said.
I don't think Ollie would have expected 5-0.
Would have said 5-0. I mean, that was, I'd say it's a masterclass because we deserved everything we got from that game. And if we're honest, it could have been more. I'm going to come to Tom first. What did you make of that?
Oh, do you even have to ask me the question, to be honest with you? Yeah, wow. If I'm being honest, I think in terms of European football, this is where it's landed Man United on the map now. You go away to PSG and you absolutely just outdo them. You know, simple as that, in their own backyard. And then you come back to England and then you take on a team that got to the semi-final with minimal expenditure and everything. Possibly, arguably got unlucky not to get to the final. And have just absolutely wiped the floor with them. Rashford, sent Upamecano to the shops and he didn't even come back. And the thing about Rashford that I think is tipped it off is he scored a hat-trick in pretty much 45 minutes.
Less than that. He came on in the 63rd minute. In less than half an hour.
Less than that. And it could have even been worse. On another day, Cavani probably stays off the offside line and then he'll probably score that. It could have even been worse. It could have been a lot worse. But the problem is with Man United, I think the identity is starting to come back now. Because if teams don't fear this United team, then I don't know what fears them, to be honest with you. At the moment, right now, I'm looking at a lot of teams in the world and I'm thinking the only team that I personally would be scared of is Manchester United at the moment. I can't think of anybody.
Bayern Munich?
Bayern Munich. I think this United team would give Bayern Munich a game, if I'm honest. At the moment,
I think we'll give them a game. I think we'll give them a game. 100% we'll give them a game.
Listen.
Whether we beat them or not is another matter. But I think we can give anyone.
Here. I hate to interrupt, but it's about Tellez. He hasn't been playing because he's got tested positive.
Yeah. So
go
on, carry on, Tom.
Oh no, but like I'm saying, in terms of current form right now, Man United can compete with anybody in the world, and I'll even say that now. In terms of the way we've been playing at the moment, we can compete with anybody in the world, and I'm saying that facts. When we went into this period where we had all these difficult games, everybody was fearing it. It was pretty much the month of death.
Yeah,
everybody thought, it was going to go downhill. Ollie's going to end up getting sacked at the end of the month, and everything. And then you'll bring in a new manager and then it'll all, go tickety-boo. It's completely gone different. Nobody expected us to win in Paris.
No.
Nobody expected us to... And even in Paris, we were the better team in Paris as well. That's even the bigger picture as well.
Yep.
Chelsea were unlucky not to have won that by a goal or something. If they wouldn't have had Mendy in there, we probably would have done. And even, when we've gone into playing Leipzig today, we've not even won a game at Old Trafford since the back end of last season. And some of the, it's just, I'm speechless, to be honest with you. We've not seen this for so long. Honestly, for so long. So long we've been starved of these amazing performances in the world. And like I've already said, this team can compete with probably anybody in the world in terms of right now. Bayern Munich are only probably the team that are greater than Man United because Barcelona are hit and miss. Teams like Real Madrid are hit and miss. Exactly the same with such as Juventus. Juventus aren't competing at the moment. The only team I see competing in terms of Europe at the moment is Man United and Bayern Munich. I don't see any of... Liverpool have not been great, Liverpool should be blasting, Midtjylland at home, 7 or 8-0.
They could easily have drawn that game.
They could have easily drawn the game. Exactly. The Ajax game as well.
Let me.
There's one team I think that.
Shane, 1 second, before I come to you, Shane. Comment here from Hala Madrid. He says, "Neeks, I'm so happy I switched over from the Barca game for the last 25 minutes. Yeah, our game came to life, man. Rashford came on, and he said in his post-match interview that Solskjaer said, basically, he said, listen, we need you to come and bring some energy, stretch the game. We had a few openings. In the first half, Marshall had a chance to put in Greenwood, and he fluffed his line. Second half, he had a chance to put in Van der Beek, and the pass was too short. It wasn't heavy enough to reach Van der Beek. And then there was a little run where he nearly got in Van der Beek. But when Rashford came on, the whole game changed. And credit to him, but also credit to Solskjaer for making the changes when he did. What do you make of
that? You can't really put into words that game. I felt the first 20 minutes we started really, really well. We were pressing them from the front, and we got the goal that we deserved. Whether it was offside or not is a different debate. Then for 20 minutes we started to sit back, and they were really pinning us back. We couldn't really get out of our own half. But having said that, they didn't create much. Then in the second half, we were pinned back again, but we defended really well. And then when Rashford came on, as soon as we scored that second goal, Leipzig just lost their heads.
Yeah.
Upamecano, I've been someone he is someone I really want Man United to get, but today he looked like Phil Jones at his worst. That's probably being polite. That's being polite. And yeah, credit to Rashford, credit to Bruno, because that pass for Rashford was unbelievable, because he's not looking as well. And there was another pass he tried over the free kick where he dinked it to Martial, and he overheaded it a slight bit. Wan-Bissaka, I'm saying it right now, he's the best right back on the planet. I don't care. I do not care.
Well, I've said for a while, for me, he is the best defensive right back in the world. I think he needs to add a bit more to his attacking game. But since the international break, he has been absolutely brilliant. Joined by Chucky, first time I've had him on the channel, so big up to yourself. Listen, 5-0 masterclass. Listen, what did you make of the game? What did you make of that?
Before I continue talking about the game, wait, Wan-Bissaka, best tackler in the world.
100%.
Look at me, best tackler in the world. Now, that game, my lord, you know what? When we got slapped by Tottenham, I just looked at it. I said, we're not looking fit. We ain't had a pre-season. We had 10 men. It's not all doom and gloom. I kept offline for a little bit because my United fans in particular were annoying me. Everyone was so sensational about everything. And I started getting fed up about everyone saying Ollie don't know what he's doing. Ollie ain't got no tactics. Ollie ain't this, ain't that. I just think to myself, come on, people, really. The guy's been doing management for 10 years. He must know something. Today, my lord, that result today, that was decent. Decent.
Listen, it was. Go on, sorry, carry on.
What we did against PSG was nice, but that was beautiful.
For me, this complemented the PSG results so well, because as we spoke about this run we go into in November, you got Newcastle, a game you should win. Then you got PSG, then you got Chelsea, Leipzig, Arsenal, Istanbul, Everton, before we go on the next international break. Everyone was like, end of this month, Solskjaer's getting sacked, Poch in, Nagelsmann who just got destroyed at Old Trafford today, all of that. We beat PSG away, and it's very easy for the doubters, whether they're Man United fan or otherwise, to say, what's a flash in the pan? We've done this before. It's just one game. But to back that up with a solid, if not spectacular, but a solid performance against Chelsea, and then in the second Champions League group, when you've got the chance to really stamp your authority on the group, to go and absolutely batter the team everyone expected us to be competing with to qualify out of the group, absolutely annihilate them. That, for me, that complements the last two results perfectly. So those who were fuming about the team that we played against Chelsea and the result, it's everything you do after that supports that game.
Seriously, man, it's frustrating for me and it's tiresome. I mean, imagine any walk of life, just from your random job, any random job, just tell me anything. Someone from your random job.
Me, accountant. All right.
Now, imagine. Everyone is watching you as an accountant, right? They're saying to you, I don't think that's the right computer you use there. That's the wrong computer used there. I don't think that's the right computer used there. That's not good. Now then they say to you, I don't think you're picking your clients right. I think you should do it this way. And then they said to you, your spreadsheet should come in at this time. Imagine they pick apart every part of your profession, every single step of the way. It's fucking ludicrous. Yeah. Excuse my language. It's absolutely ludicrous how many people tear apart every single thing that Ollie does. It's nuts. And then also the player comparisons. I'm not going to base it down on one match. I'm all about people's opinions and all that, yeah? But Upper Meccano is the guy who's meant to sort our problems, yo.
He still would.
Well, put it like this, Shane. Put it like this. Because of all the doubters of Marcus Rashford's football ability, if Upper Meccano is the man to sort our problems, and I'm not saying he's not, but if he is, then how damn good is Marcus Rashford? Because he put him to one side today. Twice. Absolutely duffing him. So
listen, I'm not taking anything away from Rashford, but Leipzig did lose their heads when they went 2-0 down. They lost their heads. He was just dreadful after that point. And I've always said this: when people compare Rashford to Iwobi, they're comparing him to Pulisic now. I'm sorry, he is levels above both of them. His outputs, his consistency. He's a big game player. Scored a hat-trick today. Scored a winner against PSG. He scored a brace against Liverpool. He scored a brace against Chelsea twice. He scored against City as well. He scored a brace against Mourinho.
But listen, even just the way he started his Man United career, obviously he scored 2 on his debut. The next game, he scored 2 against Arsenal. He scored in his first Manchester derby. Like, the guy always turns up in the big games. That's never been his issue. And now he's turning up in every game. Every game we need him, he's turning up.
He's not even rolling yet, man. I just find it really strange. By the way, don't get it twisted if anyone's listening thinking I'm just to one side. I'm always interested in people's opinions. I always try to take a step back nowadays because I think I'm no expert and people should stop going on like everyone's an expert. It's just opinion. Listen, I heard don't you ever bring up Marcus Rashford's name alongside Mbappe. I reckon Marcus Rashford obviously watches the BT Sports. Why? I'll tell you why. Rio Ferdinand said last week, the difference between Marcus Rashford and Mbappe is Marcus Rashford has his head up. He looks to pass. He enjoys that side of things. Mbappe is just ruthless. He wants to destroy. Marcus Rashford came out today and he had no other interest in anything else apart from killing. He hit the ball as hard as he can every time. It's strange how whenever we have these matchups that Man United fans who back Man United players get told to be quiet. Well, we saw what happened when Rashford came up against Mbappe. We're going to twice again. Mbappe might do that. Mbappe might do something. Upper Meccano up against Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not just
Ole versus what's his face. Talk to me.
I'm not just that. Rashford was very, very unselfish not to take that penalty.
I was disgusted a little bit, not lie. I was disgusted. I was like, how nice of you.
You know what? I love that whole little last segment of the game was so good because Van der Beek came off and there's been a lot of talk about he shouldn't be at Man United, made the wrong decision. There's a question here from Hello Madrid says how did Van der Beek look? And I think he had a good game. I think he was a bit unlucky in terms of not having his name in the headlines, the impact, whether it was the goal or the assist. But I think his overall game in terms of his positioning, to stop any kind of passes through the lines, he was pressing, he was getting the ball. When he got the ball, he very, very rarely wasted the ball. And I think he had a good game. But when he came off, it wasn't a player who was sulking. It wasn't a player who was upset about his position at Manchester United. He was like, well, he had a game, thanks, high five, went and sat down. The cameras were panning like they were waiting for him to shake his head or be upset, and it didn't happen. Bruno then comes on. After Pogba's been dropped for a few games, he's playing not like a man who's dropping his head and upset. He's playing like he's got something to prove, which all our players should. Bruno comes on, and his aim now, he's trying to assist. He tries to assist, what's his name, Cavani. When he could have tried and took it on himself, Cavani was offside. Rashford, as you said, he could have taken the hat-trick for himself, but he knows Martial didn't have the greatest game, especially with his final ball. He needs a goal, and he wanted to give Martial a goal. And what does Martial do? Martial gets a goal, and then he gives the assist to Rashford. So that whole spell was like all the players were working together as a unit, not just on the field in terms of their ability, but just in their camaraderie, their team chemistry.
That was Martial's first goal of the season. I didn't realize. After that, it made sense to me.
I think it was his first.
No, it's his second. It's his second.
I think it was his first.
No, it's the one against PSG.
Martial didn't score against PSG. He won the
Yeah, no,
penalty.
he did. He scored in the wrong goal, though.
My God.
but Martial, that was actually his first shot on target in the opposition's goal all season, the penalty. So he's obviously low on confidence because he didn't start well, got sent off. He's now seeing Rashford tear it up. There's a bit of pressure on him, of course, which there has to be. There has to be pressure on every player. No one can say this position is mine. We say?
We're not even. I don't know if you guys mentioned already. Greenwood, bro.
Oh, we haven't even mentioned him.
How
And he got the first goal. He got
A child gets the goal and we don't talk about it.
the last part of the game was just so ridiculous that I forgot about the first half. And listen, he should have had an earlier goal because Martial should have put him in. The pass across was slightly behind him. But then the finish, see, that's Greenwood. Greenwood is the striker. That is a goal.
The strength.
The hold of Upamecano. He held up Upamecano.
Say again. Who was he holding up?
Upamecano.
Yeah. All right, bro. You know what? Upamecano, bare pace. Yeah. I want to see Greenwood do that to Maguire. It would never happen. That would never happen.
Don't disrespect him. He might be our player. Don't disrespect him.
I love him, brother. I love Upamecano. I want him. I agree. But my point is sensationalism. Our players are not as bad as you think. We need to stop this. We need to stop this and stop looking at what they do and look at what they do.
Everyone's 10 times better than our players. As soon as they come to us, we just trash them. The grass is always green on the other side. It's really not.
Neeks, for all the others, how can he be a PE teacher when he's beat Pep Guardiola 3 times? I think Klopp's the only manager with him who's done that. How can he be a PE teacher if he's beat Nagelsmann, who's one of the best young and up-and-coming managers in the world, and spanked him 5-0?
Physical education, I guess, isn't it? Stop it. They need to stop. Why is it? I don't get it. I mean, I've asked in group chats, and people might think I'm being funny. It's genuine questions. I struggle because I want to agree with people because everyone tells me I'm wrong. But what makes what's his name, Poch, a better man? I just don't get it. Why is Poch better than Oli? I don't get it. No, seriously. And when I tell people to give me the evidence why he's better tactically, which is what I say, they come back to man management. And he can't be a better Manchester United player man manager than Oli. He can't. It's impossible.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is top 2, top 3 man managers in the world. Now I'm putting him right up there with Klopp and Pep because
I'd say Tuchel's a good man manager.
Maybe even more so than Pep because you speak to certain players under Pep. And a lot of them are not very, very happy in terms of his man management. Klopp's a very, very good man manager. So it'd be difficult for me to put Solskjaer above him. But the mess that Solskjaer inherited at Manchester United is unparalleled to anything that Pep has ever come a cropper when he's got a new job. So what Solskjaer's done to turn around, forget the results on the pitch. We had players and our best players who wanted to leave. Martial wanted to leave the club before he came. He signed a new contract within a matter of months. Paul Pogba was trying to leave to Manchester City. Mino Raiola was touting into Manchester City. Pogba's thinking about signing a new contract. Even though we don't look at the moment as title challenges, that has to be down to Oli because it can't be purely down to the fact that we came 3rd last year. But I think Solskjaer, Marcus Rashford and Martial has had their best seasons at Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So if it's not his tactics that has got them that, it must be the man management that has given them the confidence to realize their ability. So I would say Poch might be a better coach. Maybe he's got proof that he's got this person better, that person better. Tactically, he may make some more changes at times. No, it's an argument. If no, listen, I'm not saying it is. No,
I need evidence. Please help me. Help me. I need the evidence.
Listen, what I'm saying is, if you are right, whoever you are, if you are right that Poch is better as a coach, cool. That's your argument. If you want to bring stats or whatever, cool. But there's nothing to tell me that he will be a better manager at Manchester United because Man United's situation ain't just a normal situation. Man United ain't just any old club. This is an institution. And the fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was here under the greatest manager in our history and one of our most successful periods in our history, that gives him the edge that over any other manager coming in. He may not be the best coach. He may make certain tactical decisions wrong pre-match or during the match. And I think he's even improving that in terms of his decision making, when to make subs, etc. But in terms of managing this club, in terms of what kind of players we need to recruit, what players are not Man United players, etc., etc., the mentality to play for Man United, you can't tell me Poch is going to be better. Poch couldn't get Spurs, who had no expectations, over the line at a time when they were he made them, yes, but they were one of the best clubs in England, and he didn't win a trophy. So what are you basing that he can come to Manchester United and make them successful? I'm not convinced. So right now I'm backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and there's nothing right now that I can say that another manager is going to come in and make us any better than we are right now.
Sorry, but
I think
go on, Shane.
I think that something you didn't mention that I think should have been mentioned, the way Ollie has inherited Greenwood into the team has been absolutely fantastic. If I am so happy Mourinho didn't get his hands on him. I am so happy he didn't. You would not see Greenwood at all in this team if Mourinho was still the manager. I don't even think you would see him in the team if Guardiola was the manager, because I don't really.
I know play Greenwood. Greenwood no track back. I know play Greenwood. No.
All that, yeah. That's the thing. Mourinho has credit on his CV that you can say, oh yeah, he's better than Solskjaer because he's won a Champions League with this person, he's won a Premier League with that X, Y, Z. But the question is he right for Man United? Because Man United is more than just winning a game, getting a trophy. We have a thing where we bring through youth, we develop players, we play a certain style of football. So it's just more than just who's the best coach. You don't just go out and get the best coach. You get the right manager for the club.
There's something I do. There's something I do think that I think there's something Pochettino probably would do that Ollie doesn't. Even though this was a great win tonight, we don't really go head to head with teams like these. We pretty much drop back more often and give them the possession and try to counter attack. If we had Pochettino in, I'd say we probably would play more on the front foot than with Ollie.
That may be the case, but you also have to look at the profile of player we have. So you can try and play on the front foot, but
I'd say we're good enough to play on the front foot against Leipzig.
Well, but it was 50-50 possession. So you might think
let me see that. Let me check. Let me check.
Leipzig were ahead by 51 at 80-something minutes.
You may look at it and think, yeah, it was 52 Leipzig, 48. So you might look at it like, oh, we're on the back foot because we score our goals on the counter attack, because we've got the pace to exploit it. But it doesn't mean we're actually on the back foot.
Okay, fair enough.
Ain't no slouches, as in, let's pay them some respect, as in, I don't care who they've gotten rid of. Come on, guys, it's Leipzig, man. They ain't a joke.
So it's not like we're going there. We're not playing like Arteta's Arsenal, where we're just 20% possession and we're just pinging balls over the top to Aubameyang, where it's different phases of the game. And at times you should pay them respect. Let them have the ball for a moment. Make sure you're solid. When we were 1-0 up, that little part just before half time, they had the ball. So you don't want to start chasing the game to try and regain your possession of the ball and come like your peak Barcelona. You say, cool, this is their moment. We make sure we don't concede, because we know that maybe just after half time, when next 10-15 minutes, it's going to be our time to put our foot on the ball and control it. So it's all about that. And I think look at the football we played just after lockdown. That was, forget the team where you think certain players shouldn't be there. The way we were playing in terms of dominating on the front foot is the way that Solskjaer wants to play. But it's all about the profile of play. If you play McTominay and Fred, it's going to be a bit more difficult if you play Van der Beek and Pogba.
Do you know what? I don't care what anyone says. It's a case of systems sometimes, and doesn't matter how you look at it. You also need people who are going to do exactly as you tell them. Yep. Nobody wants to see 2 CDMs, but at the end of the day, the way our team play, we ain't got that much pace. We need 2 CDMs. So this team choices is making more sense. The more I look at it, frustrating. I don't like it, but he ain't got a choice. We got slapped 6-1 by Tottenham, man. And not slapped 6-1 by Tottenham, man. If you look at 2 results before that, it's no joke, man. You've got to shut, man.
I'm not just that.
I was looking at our results after we lost 6-1 to Man City under Fergie in 2011. And the next 5 games, we won 4 of them 1-0, and we drew the other one 1-1 against Newcastle. Fergie said, That ain't happening again. Shut
No,
up
no.
shop. Back to basics. And then as the season progresses, you then build on it. You start attacking a bit more because you got a bit of defensive solidity, a bit of confidence. He had to go back to basics after that 6-1. We couldn't go and play Matic, Pogba, Bruno, Greenwood, Rashford after we just got slapped. That would be naive, but that's what a lot of fans wanted because we live in this fantasy like it's FIFA, where you just put all your attacking players on the pitch, and as the fast ones will get onto balls. And this is real life. Let me come to Shane quickly. Go on, Shane.
Okay, and the good thing is, Ollie didn't even get backed in the summer because realistically, we all know he wanted Jadon Sancho. We all know he wanted a centre back, and we all know he probably wanted other positions. Now, I'm not particularly annoyed.
Grealish.
Yeah, well, we did want Grealish, but I think the alternative was Van de Beek, so we didn't really miss out on anything there. But he didn't get his targets, and he's performing with the team. And not just that, a lot of people are making up a lot of BS right now about the fact that he's losing the dressing room because of the Greenwood stuff. Pogba's also been getting rumours about he's losing faith in him. Bruno, during the international break, apparently he was losing faith in him. He put that aside. So we need to. So the press are trying to put talks, are trying to make out that that Ollie's losing the dressing room. When that's just not the case. And not just that, this was a great win tonight. But we have to beat Banter FC now. We have to beat them.
Yeah, we do.
We have to.
The Chelsea game for me was a must not lose. The Arsenal one, I think we have to win because when you look at it, Arsenal, their fans gas a lot of their stuff and whatever, blah blah. But we are better than them. Chelsea, we're on their level. Let's be honest. We finished third last year, level points. They made transfers cool, but we've got a squad that most will say is not as good as Chelsea's. But most will say because most predicted Chelsea to finish above the season. But in reality, we finished level points with them last year. So if they're looking to challenge for the league, we should be looking to challenge for the league. That's the expectation we should be at on the same level as Chelsea. Arsenal are not on our level. We're at home. We should be beating Arsenal. There's no excuses for me.
You know what? There's something I want to point out, right? We all got obsessed with Jadon Sancho, myself included, which then warped what the transfer window actually was. We did business late for whatever reason. Fair play. But if we looked at last season, we were forced to keep playing the same exact team because we had no strength in depth. We said if we had X, Y, Z amount of creative players, we'll be able to challenge a lot more so. We've got the same flipping team and added X, Y, Z amount of creative players. This should not be no surprise, really. Why are we so short-minded? I mean, people, this was 3 months ago. Come on. We forgot. Come on, man. Think about it, man.
People didn't take into account the fact that we didn't have any pre-season. They looked at it as, it's an excuse. And it's not an excuse, because if you look at a lot of results around Europe before international break was very up and down. Bayern getting slapped by Hoffenheim, Man City getting slapped by Leicester. Obviously, we got slapped by Spurs. Liverpool got slapped by Aston Villa. Even if you look at our first game against Palace, and then the next day, or was it the Monday? I can't remember when we played against Palace. Man City played Wolves. First half, yes, on the Monday, Man City played Wolves. First half, they were brilliant. Second half, they were finished. Legs gone, blew out. Wolves should have got something out of the game. I think the next game they played, I think they dropped points. I can't remember exactly, but they weren't. You could see that the lack of games pre-season affected them, but people could only see it after the Man City game, because the first port of call, even from Man United fans, and maybe Man United fans, is to criticize the team, criticize the manager, criticize the players, as instead of trying to look at. We just came off the back of a good end to the season. We lost to Sevilla, yes, but we should have won the game. We had a chance to win that game.
Yeah,
we started the season.
We didn't deserve to lose.
Start the season with a complete mess of a summer. Everything around the club is a mess. No preseason. We have one little preseason game against Aston Villa, which we lost that game anyway. Players got COVID. All those quarantining Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We go into this game and everyone expects us to just pick up where we left off. It's unrealistic. And what they do, a lot of people, they have these unrealistic expectations of Manchester United, knowing that we can't achieve it. So when we don't achieve it, they can say, yeah, I was right. Solskjaer's not good enough. No, your expectations are way too high.
It's not funny about you saying picking up where you left off. It's funny about you saying that. We kind of did pick up where we left off. How we ended the season was dead. And how we started the season was dead.
You know, it's the funny thing. we can go on a great run, but all the others are going to say, "Oh, it's because of the individuals he's got." But when you look at England are the perfect example. No offense, but you had Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, Beckham, and you didn't click. So you need to have the right system in place for these players to work together. But all the others are just going to say, "Oh no, it's the individual he's got on the pitch. If he didn't have them, he'd be gone." Some people need to take into context that yes, you can have good players, but tactics need to be in place for them players to work. Look at Lampard. Lampard's another prime example. He's got Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. He bought Ziyech. Who else did he buy? They bought so many players.
They bought
Chilwell.
what's it? Chilwell. They bought Thiago Silva, Mendy, the goalkeeper. They bought a hell of a lot of players.
Yeah, and I know that people were going to say that it takes time for the players to settle into league and it will take time for the team to gel, which is true. Having said that, in my opinion, Lampard is underperforming right now with that team.
But you still have, yes, I agree, he is, but you still have to give him time.
Yes,
and
I know that.
Guys will look at Chelsea and say, "Oh well, look." I remember last season Lampard got them playing a certain way. Why can't we do that? They got a system, they got a style of play, but they were conceding 50 goals. So it's because it's exciting, you accept it. Because ours isn't exciting, where Solskjaer's tried to build from the back, he's tried to say, all right, get Wan-Bissaka in, get Maguire, make sure we don't concede no goals, because we've already got the players who can score it. Now I just need to link the midfield, the defense and the strikers. That's all he really had to do. But people, I said the grass is always greener. Lampard is struggling because Lampard's a new manager and he's got it's a big expectations, and he's got players that need to gel. Lampard deserves time. Oli deserves time. Arteta deserves time. But we live in a world, not just in football, but in society, where we must have everything now. Because everything's at our fingertips. The phone, the iPad, everything, the internet, everything's at our fingertips. We want it now. Like spoiled children, we want everything now. So what's going to happen is we could go on a 15-game unbeaten run from Newcastle onwards. The moment we lose that game to Burnley away, Ollie's gonna freestyle. Ollie's got no tactics. PE teacher, all of that. Get Ollie out. It's gonna happen because we expect way too much that is unrealistic, and we don't expect of no one else. But the ironic thing is, if they got the manager they wanted, so they got in a Poch or a Nagelsmann or whoever it might be, they wouldn't have the same expectations because they're just spoiled. They want what they want, and they want it now, and anything else is not good enough. So if Rashford, of course it's an agenda. If Rashford put in the performance today that Martial put in prior to his assist at the end, the knives would have been out, because there's a lot of people who think Rashford ain't got the intelligence, etc.
He's the worst for it, bro. Right? Is it right? He's
I called him out long. I called Rants out, the whole respect and all that. I don't like it because
I was like, what's going on? Please stop.
To make a joke, but to now make it.
He's trolling, but he's not, is he? I want to believe that he's trolling, but he's not, is he?
First, you might look at it as a troll, but when you're dragging it on for over a year from one channel to the next, from United Stand onto your channel, it's no longer a troll. It's now an agenda. You believe it, and you want others to believe it. And I don't like that from Man United fans, because you are. I don't rate Luke Shaw, I don't rate Dan James, but when they play, I want them to do well. And if they don't play well, I'm going to say they don't play well. If they do play well, I'm going to say they do play well. Whereas with a lot of people like him and others, if a player that they haven't rated or they don't rate plays well, they won't give no credit. And if a player they do rate doesn't play well, there'll be no criticism. There's no balance to it. And that's what I don't rate. That's what I don't like. I don't care if you don't like this player, don't like that player. I just want balance in your analysis, and I can take it seriously.
Results is the main thing I want. I want to win before anything else. After that, I just don't. How can you not support Rashford? I don't get it. It's beyond me. Bruv, you should be putting that energy into trolling other fans. Yeah. Right now, I said in the group chat earlier on, right now, we should look at people dead in the eye and say Mbappe should clean Rashford's shoes. We should say that first of all. He's his younger anyway. Mbappe is Rashford's little brother. And then also be saying things like, well, what can Mbappe? Mbappe could never come off the bench and score, let alone 3 times. Mbappe could never. He'll come off the bench and sulk. You know what I mean? Yeah. We should troll him, but no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We want to trash our own players. It's mad.
And you know what's the funny thing? Some of our fans call Rashford Trashford. That annoys the hell out of me. It annoys the hell out of me.
Hey, I won't lie. I won't lie. When it comes to Dan James, man, I've got to bite my tongue. I can't lie. I mean, I like the guy. I want to like the guy, but that guy irritates me to my soul. But it's only one thing with Dan James. He just doesn't seem to have. He hasn't improved in a year mentally. I can't fathom that because he's an adult.
He's not good enough for Man United, and that's the bottom line. So I don't even expect anything from him, and I'm disappointed with Solskjaer when he plays him, because all you're doing is feeding him to the wolves. Because what are you expecting to get out of him? I expect nothing, and he's proven nothing. But after the Spurs game, as I said, we got battered 6-1. If anybody got dropped, you can't complain. I don't care whether you're David De Gea or Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, whoever, Bruno Fernandes. If Solskjaer decided to drop anyone, you just have to hold you bite your tongue and you say, well, you know what? It wasn't my fault we lost 6-1, but I was a part of it. So I'm going to sit on the bench. Pogba had to sit down. Matic had to sit down. Bailly, obviously, he's injured, but he had to sit down. And we go again. And then you have to now reprove yourself that you've got what it takes to get Man United out of this rut. But listen, guys, it's been brilliant. Thanks for coming on, man. And listen, 5-0. I said Marcus Rashford scoring his first goal. First hat trick for Manchester United since 2014 in the Champions League, since Robin van Persie. His first hat trick for Manchester United. I mean, it's been a great week for him on and off the field. Hat trick for Man United. 1 million signatures on his petition to the government to feed the children. He's trying to feed the children. He's fed the Man United fans today. He served Upamecano on a plate, on a platter. Listen, it's been good. It's been great. Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you lot soon.